Hello everyone, thank you for joining us at this Your Overseas Home webinar. My name is Christopher Nye, content editor at Your Overseas Home, and today we'll be chatting with Shirin Sharifi from the Spanish Estate Agent and Emma Belgum from JLCA and Associate Lawyers about your viewing trip to Spain. I know I said those names rather quickly, don't worry, you'll get a recording of everything and you can watch it in slow-mo, and we'll send you those contact details again. So I'm sure you're going to want to contact Shirin and Emma at some point on your viewing trip or before it. Now, so the viewing trip, that's what we're talking about, the business end of buying a property after all that planning. Exciting time, the most exciting bit, but it can be a little bit nerve-wracking too. So it's great to have you all with us where we can talk about this and work through the process, whether you're with us live or you're catching up on demand. We only have 30 minutes, so we'll get straight on. If you have a question, please type this into the questions tab on the right hand side of your screen. We are very much focusing on the nuts and bolts of a viewing trip and setting your budget and making an offer, those kinds of things. So if you've got queries on visas and tax and things like that, do check the on-demand section of Your Overseas Home website and you'll find webinars that cover all those topics. So now, if you need a reminder of anything discussed today, a replay will be available on the Your Overseas Home website to watch at your leisure or to send to family and friends who may be interested too. So, Shirin, it would be great if you could start off by giving us a quick summary as to who you are and how the Spanish Estate Agent can help our viewers today.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Shirin Sharifi. I am the sales director at the Spanish Estate Agent. I have been working in real estate for over 23 years here on the Costa del Sol, working in all different departments, but always real estate on the coast. We have our office in Estepona, but we cover the whole coast from Malaga right the way to Gibraltar and inland properties as well. We have a great team, all of them very, very experienced, and we basically are what we call a property finder type of agent. We have access to absolutely every single property that there is on the Costa del Sol that's for sale, and therefore we listen to what the clients are looking for, what type of property, what they want to achieve, and we go and find it amongst all the other agents. So it's a lovely way for people, very busy people, to work because they don't know the coast. They want to find somebody they trust. And so we go out there and we find the properties for them, but as well as everything else. And that's how we work. We work with you very closely in doing all the background before your trip over.
Okay. Speaking of which, so that background, how far in advance should you be planning your viewing trip? I guess it's not something that you say, I'm coming tomorrow.
No, gosh, no. Like anything, I mean, just the very basic, we need to make appointments to see the properties. Some properties are with tenants in, or some of them have owners in, you know, there's all different. But going right back, I like to meet people when they first decide they might be doing this as far in advance as possible. I had a meeting in the office yesterday with clients that aren't looking to buy until next year, but they're here looking at schools, looking at different areas and so on. But of course, you know, I love it when people want my opinion on different areas and so on. I've lived here for 25 years, so I know every nook and cranny, all the different areas that you would never find on your own. And so there's that sort of local knowledge that's really important as well. I like to meet people as early as possible. Now, what's available now compared to what's available to when you're ready to buy are completely different things. Of course, the market is very strong at the moment, so we're selling very quickly. However, I can help you really understand the market, how it works, all the different areas and what they have to offer. But that needs to be done in advance. If you have children that need to go to school, you need to look at which schools are best for them. That sort of thing. But yeah, as early as possible, I would say. I like to meet clients.
Okay, and I guess also we need to speak to you about when is a good time to come of the week, because I'm guessing maybe you don't work Sunday, so it's not really a weekend thing. It's more, is it
No.
midweek? Do you work Saturdays?
We work Saturdays. The only thing I would say, viewing, I'm talking to clients on Sunday. I'm with clients all week. That's not a problem. The only problem I would say is vendors not wanting to show properties at the weekend. And also, if we're going to be doing power of attorney with a lawyer or opening bank accounts, things like that, that can't be done on the weekend. We need you during the week. It's only logical. And that's really important. Yeah, I ask for people to come during the week if possible.
Okay. And what about the time of year? Because I guess in high season, a lot of holiday properties are full, and you can interrupt a vendor, but you can't really turf the holiday home renter.
No, that's really important. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, the market must really go down in the winter." We don't have that kind of seasonal buying. We have some areas sometimes, but it's not when you think. So in summer, yes, you're 100% right, Chris. We have, people holidaying, rental properties, types of properties that people want to buy for rental investment. Of course, they're going to be full with tenants paying top dollar to stay in those properties. So we do ask you to be a little bit, give us that much more time to arrange those viewings, or understand that we can't always get into properties July and August.
Okay, great. Just one more question before I bring in Emma, and that is, what do people need to bring with them? I'm going to guess that maybe some sort of proof of funds would be helpful.
So if I just go back a little bit, what we need to know, it's not that it's proof of funds. It's very important for people to have funds in place before they come out to view properties, for many reasons, if you're serious about doing this. Now, there's the cost of the property itself, there's the buying costs, and that differs in every province. And all I can tell you is in Andalusia, we have had a reduction in transfer tax. It's gone from 8, 9, and 10% right down to across the board 7%. So, and that's, definitely until the end of this year. So you have to have your costings in place as well. You have to understand that, and we will give you all that. We'll help you with all that, but it's having your budget. But also, if you come over to view and then you've got to then go off and get your mortgage, then it doesn't really put you in a very strong position to be negotiating. So I always help my clients get their finance in advance if they're doing that in Spain. The funding is such a crucial part of it. If you come over and you've got a pre-approval for a mortgage, even if we haven't found a property, it doesn't matter. But that gives me a really strong position to be negotiating from. So, because we have a lot of cash buyers here, and the market being the way it is at the moment, a cash buyer is way more attractive than somebody that then has to go off and get a mortgage. So the more you can do in that respect, the better.
Okay.
But yeah, in terms of preparing for the trip together, then obviously, we'll be swapping lots of properties, the ones that you like, the ones that actually exist, the ones that haven't been sold, and the ones that I can recommend as well. So all that will have been done in advance, and I will have made all the appointments. Not just for the properties, but with the lawyer, with the bank, to open bank accounts, to get all that done. I'm going with clients tomorrow, and we're going to do the power of attorney before we even go to look at properties. So it's as much planning in advance as possible.
Okay. Now, Emma's been waiting very patiently there. So, Emma, could you give us a quick summary as to who you are and how JLCA can help our customers?
Thanks, Chris. Basically, JLCA Lawyers, we are a Spanish legal firm. We have been established for more than 20 years. We cover all areas of law, as well as all of the extrajudicial as we class with conveyancing, residency applications, etc., and also civil and criminal. Our main office, which is where I work, is based in Alicante. We've got offices in London and Miami, and we also have associate offices in Madrid. from our office, although, as I say, the main office is based in Alicante, we do cover the whole of Spain, and that includes the Balearic and the Canary Islands. Within our office as well, although it's all Spanish lawyers, everybody is well versed in all of the different areas of Spanish law, bearing in mind it's different in the autonomous regions. We also have a lot of staff like myself that are native English speakers. The whole idea being it's not just about translation, it's about interpretation. It's so important that when people are going through something as important as buying a property in Spain, that they understand exactly what's happening all the way through, but then they can also relate it to something that they recognize from the UK.
Okay, great. Well, that's kind of answered my first question, which was that I would have imagined that some people think, oh, I'll get to Spain, I'll find a lawyer there, I'll just walk down the high street. But it's really much better to talk to you in advance, isn't it? And you cover the whole of Spain anyway.
We do, and I would echo exactly what Shirin was saying, is that preparation is always a good thing. You're talking about such an important thing as buying a property in Spain. If you're buying a property in the UK, you would be doing so much checks and investigations before you got started. It's exactly the same when you're buying in a foreign country, and even more important because you want to make sure that you've got somebody that you trust and that you're able to communicate with, and you know that you're going to get the information that you need.
Okay, so what documents should they produce first, and should they bring on a viewing trip?
From our point of view, viewing trips, this is more about having a look at the property, and it's the sort of things that Shirin has been talking about. For our point of view, we tend to talk to people before they've actually come over here, and we'll try to make sure that they're fully informed, exactly as Shirin said, about the different costs that be involved. Obviously, with one set of costs, depending if it's in Costa del Sol, you'll have different in the Costa Blanca. It's different again in each of the autonomous regions. And to explain the full buying process, what happens from start to finish, what costs will be involved. But also, I mean, obviously, another important thing is the why they are buying a property. Is it for a holiday home? Is it for investment purposes? Is it for living permanently? Is it something that they're going to plan to eventually retire to, so that they can get all of the information about what they might need in the future, or what will be needed in order to achieve exactly what they want, so they can get the full picture before making big decisions.
Great. Okay, so now so we're prepared. We've spoken to you, and we've spoken to Shirin, and we've told you everything that you need to know. I should also mention, actually, since we're sponsored by Smart Currency Exchange, that it really is important that you think about currency before you get there. It's not a last minute thing. We've seen that just this week the pound's been up and down all over the place. So it's very hard to set a budget unless you've spoken to Smart first and worked out what you're likely to get. And it's also very important that if you agree a price, that you then lock in that exchange rate, because otherwise 2 or 3 months down the line, when you actually have to pay for it, the exchange rate could have taken it, will have taken it to somewhere different, and it could end up costing a lot more. So it's very important also that you talk to a currency exchange before you leave, and we recommend Smart. So now on to the nuts and bolts of the viewing trip. Shirin, how many properties would you recommend someone does in a day?
I would say not too many, because you do get a bit frazzled. But it really depends the type of property you're looking to buy. If you're looking at a villa and the distance between each property, then and the amount of time that you need to look around the property. So I try when it comes to homes, villas, and so on, we try to sort of do 4 to 6 a day. With apartments, obviously, we can do more than that. But it really is how much your criteria and how many properties have the criteria that you want. So depends which areas you're looking at. Do you know the area you want to be in? It really depends. But they're the sort of numbers we're talking about. Because we've done a lot of homework together beforehand. Most of the time, I've been listening to what you want. You've been sending me properties that you like from other websites. I get a gist of what you're looking for. So we do tend to streamline the viewing of the properties in advance. Some people want to see loads, and some people just really want to see focused properties for what they want. So they're the sort of numbers we're talking about.
Okay, now I know that in some parts of the world, the cost of car hire have absolutely gone through the roof. So can we? Do you do the lifts, or do you drive us around?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think of me as your tour guide. I will, again, as I say, we will have made all the appointments. I always say to clients, can you imagine trying to do this by yourselves, meeting God knows how many different agents on corners and trying to find where you are? We take all of that away. We have made all the appointments. I pick you up. We've got nice air-conditioned cars, and we take you around from appointment to appointment. You know, I know where they are. I know how much time I need in between. I know all of that. So it's all done for you. And not just that, you can sit back, you can look around. You're not stressing about getting to the appointment and not being able to look at your surroundings. It's really, really important. And when you're with me, I can obviously point out different things. You know, there's a gorgeous little beach restaurant there, or there's a great school there, or the hospital's there, or there's this funny little, you know, turning around bit, you know, the things you will never find on your own. And we take great joy in showing you all that as well. So yeah, we drive you around basically all the time. Yeah.
But you don't, like some companies offer these sort of £99 viewing trips, but then you're kind of in the pocket of that company, aren't you?
Yeah.
Whereas if we come to you, we're paying for our flight and we're sorting out our accommodation, but you know, we're free to do what we like.
Yeah, I mean, we offer you the complete service, but as I say, I've been doing this for 23 years, and I've seen some very, very high pressure companies come and go. In that they offer these trips, but of course everything has to be paid for at the end of the day. So they really expect to get a sale out of you, whether it's right for you or not. And that's the danger of these inspection trips. I've never been a fan of them, but we still give you the full service. We still have access to every single property that's available. You do only need one agent, but it's not high pressure with us. It's very much at your pace and your requirements.
And presumably it's okay to take photos while you're going around and do your own videos and things.
Yes. What I always do is beforehand, we will have sent you sometimes videos already of the property. We will have sent you sometimes any plans that we can get hold of. As much you have to remember, there's community fees to pay, there's local taxes to pay. We will have given you all that information. So I always compile a little file of what we call little brochures, so that they've got a few reminder photographs and clients can make little notes on them, so to remind themselves of where they've been and what they've seen and what they like and what they don't like. But yeah, while you're in the property, of course, you're welcome to take pictures and take videos.
Now, I know in some countries that agents don't give out the address of the property, and so you can't do your research in advance and sort of go on Google Street View. Is it normal in Spain, unlike say in France, to give out the address?
We don't give the address, but I can give you the area that, not the area. I mean, I can pretty much pinpoint where it is, so you can see how close you are to bars, restaurants, and amenities and so on. The whole address thing is just comes from many reasons, but some vendors don't want their addresses advertised, and also they don't want people turning up on doorsteps and things like that. It's just not. But we do. That's part of the research that we do with you.
Okay, great. Now, so now we get on to the. We found a property that we like. Is it normal to offer the asking? I know it depends on the market at any particular time, but is it normal? Would I be an idiot offering the full asking price if I love the place?
Depends on I know I keep saying depends, but we have properties that we've sold for over asking price at the moment. And we've had properties where there's been a little bit of negotiation, but not a lot. And obviously we're selling many prices at asking price as well. We have situations when, at the moment, I'll explain, we had something like year on year, we always have about 28 to 30,000 properties for sale in any one given area. At the moment, we've got around 12,000 properties for sale in that area. So properties are selling really, really well, especially good looking properties. And good quality and so on. So we've had situations, I mean, I will always negotiate as hard as I can, believe me, because I want that feel good factor for clients. But sometimes, I mean, we're listing properties and we're getting offers on the first and second viewing, and vendors are saying, hang on a minute, you know, I'm going to hold out for asking price. So it just, it's not that kind of knock it down by 10% anymore or anything like that at the moment. We are literally getting a little bit off sometimes, but not, I have to say not always, because we've got so many buyers for the same property.
Okay. Now, one more question before I move on to Emma again, and that is reservation deposits. So I like the property. I made an offer. What happens next? How much do I have to pay up front, and what should I be worried about?
What should you be worried about? So we take a reservation deposit. It's either 1% or €6,000, depending which is the greater, let's say.
Yeah.
We take that as a bond, as a show of commitment. Now, that is non-refundable unless there's a legal issue with the property that cannot be resolved. Of course, we're not interested in selling you an illegal property. That's not what we're here to do. That's when Emma and her team will get involved and do all the due diligence. So they'll do all the conveyancing. They'll check if there's a first occupation license or a building license even. They'll do all that and give you a report. And then if there's then you go on to the 10% stage minus the deposit you've already paid. And then, of course, in contracts, it's stated the date for completion. Now, we don't start negotiating on price unless you're at the stage where you're ready to pay that reservation fee, because, as I say, we are competing with so many buyers at the moment. But that's normally the reservation. We do a reservation contract outlining the price, the address, so on and so forth. And then Emma and her team will take over and create a private purchase contract. And pretty much take it from there, really.
Okay. So, Emma, take us through what. So, the first question: what do I need to bring from a legal document standpoint if I'm thinking that I'm really serious on this viewing trip and I want to come back with a property? What do I need to take with me, or have available?
Have available is what you've already covered. First of all, the means in order to pay the deposits. What you will have already, identification, which is going to be your passport, in order to be able to give those details, in order to redact the contracts as such. So those are the most important things. I mean, Shireen touched earlier on powers of attorney. These are things that could be arranged while you're in Spain, but in all honesty, we can arrange that in the UK when you go back as well. So there's not like a real rush that you must do it there and then. You can do it in the UK as well. It costs a little bit more to do it in the UK than it does in Spain, but you can do it at your convenience. So, you know, a lot of these things can be done later on. The most important thing is getting that reservation and that initial payment paid, and then you are in the process, which is where the lawyers can be working on your behalf and doing all of the work that needs to be done to make sure that everything is correct in that private purchase contract.
And so would I be contacting you before paying that 6,000 or so euros?
Well, this depends. I mean, from our point of view, you know, if we've been talking with people beforehand, I mean, it's perfectly okay if you're with an agent that you trust in and you're paying a deposit on a property. It's only if you've got documents to sign that we would prefer to check anything. We are lawyers, so anything that you sign, we want to see.
Okay, great. So I've agreed, and then the 10% part that presumably generally happens when you're back in the UK.
Yeah, this would happen later. I mean, the private purchase contract, I can't emphasize enough how important that document is. All of the information that is in there is binding to notary. This is going to be dates for completion, what documents, if they haven't already been produced, there is a requirement to obtain them in order to go forward. It's all the things that you want in there to protect yourself, to make sure that everything goes perfect and smooth for the signing. And if there's any reason, if there was any reason that there was a problem and the documents couldn't be obtained, that you would be able to come out of the sale and be able to get that 10% deposit back. So I don't think Chris realizes
that. I warned you before that I would definitely do that once. Let's hope it's not twice. So what was I saying? What I was saying, I think, was yes, the notary. Who organises the notary? Is that me, or is that or you, or is that Shirin?
That is done between everybody, between the lawyers and the estate agents, the sellers. All of that is arranged for them. I mean, more often than not, there's no requirement for the person to come out and sign in person. It can be done for them with power of attorney if they prefer. So it's not the onus of the buyer to arrange those things, but it's all about getting everybody tied in on the date that fits with everybody.
Okay, so how long would you say is a piece of string? No, but how long is the property buying process from putting in the offer, from our viewing trip? If I organise one ASAP, how soon would you realistically expect us to be moving in?
From our point of view, it depends what you want to do. It can be completed in a month, 2 months.
Right.
But it all depends on the parties involved as to how quickly they want to move forward, when they want to close.
Okay. Okay. Now let me go to some. Yeah. Okay. So David has mentioned NIE. So let's talk about that. What's the process with getting the NIE? And perhaps you can explain what it is.
Did you want me to tackle? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, basically, NIE number is the foreigner's identification number. It is used for fiscal purposes. It is a requirement for purchasing a property in Spain. Everybody that's on the title deed will need an NIE number. It's also important to understand if you're planning to live in Spain, even without buying a property, it's something that you will require for purchasing a car, for example. It's used for everyday fiscal purposes. So it is an important thing as well as for purchasing. Now, this can be done several ways. It can be applied for through police stations locally to where you're going to be purchasing. It can be done through the Spanish consulate in the UK, or it can be done on your behalf, with appropriate power of attorney to do so.
Okay. Now we've had a question about scouting trips, which we've talked about viewing trips, but a scouting trip is kind of an earlier stage, isn't it, Shirin? So I guess they haven't decided whether they want to buy in Alicante or the Costa del Sol. So what would you advise on a scouting trip?
Yeah, I think it's pretty much the same. I've we're not here to rush anybody into buying anything. As Emma said, it's such a big decision to make. So part of our job is to show you our area as best as we can, in the best lights as we can. But yeah, we have many clients that will do the Costa Brava, the Costa Blanca, and then come down to us or whatever. We are more expensive than those other coastlines. It's important for people to realize that and do that and see what's more important to them. We are more established. We have a far better infrastructure. However, we are more expensive. So people need to see different places, and I want my clients to be sure as well. So yeah, we can show you the areas and so on. And then sometimes people come down. We show them a few properties in different areas, and then they go away and decide where they want to be, and we see them again, hopefully.
Okay. Now, sort of just trying to look through these questions to pick out the relevant ones. Do you have people that you recommend in different parts of Spain, Shirin? Is there like a network of agents, or yeah?
Whenever I do these seminars, I always get people asking me, can I use you for different areas? Unfortunately, we don't have offices there yet. But yes, I believe we can put you in contact with good, solid agents that can help you as well. Okay,
fantastic. Now, a couple of people. Well, one lady has said, not about your company, but about other estate agents, that she's just not getting a response from them. So how can you
come to me?
Come to you, of course. How can you offer any? But if you want to buy in the Costa Dorada, you're.
That's.
How can you get an agent to take you more seriously?
Has come to that. It's bizarre. I mean, I would not be happy with any of my staff if they weren't getting back to clients. I don't care the budget. I don't care about any of that. We try to. How can you get them more? Just interact with them, start sending them properties you like, make them know that you've got your finance in place, or whatever it takes, I suppose. But I know agents are busy at the moment, but it's not really an excuse. But yeah, we all slip up now and again. So sometimes things just slip through the net, and it's not intentional.
But certainly having the finance in place, making sure you've got the finance in place, making sure you've done a bit of research, asking perhaps more detailed questions than just saying, I want to buy it.
What are the community fees? What are my local taxes and so on? There is no standard I can give you. It's different, like Estepona will be different to Benavides, will be different to Marbella, but we have got that information on each individual property, and the community fees vary wildly. So we need to do it on a property by property system.
Great.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, we've actually run out of time. I'm sorry to say. In fact, we've run over. So thank you, Emma, and thank you, Shirin, for all your insightful tips and advice. You can watch this over again, or you can go and see all our other webinars on demand. We do strongly suggest that if you're going to do a viewing trip, that you contact the lawyer and the agent well in advance, and get your currency affairs organized too. Thank you for watching this session, and good luck on your property buying journey. So thank you again, Emma and Shirin. Bye bye.